Now, how do we measure it? Well, currently, and there's been a bit of controversy about this, but currently, the preferred unit of measurement is a Haldane. And a Haldane is a change in the mean value of the population by 1 standard deviation per generation. So I'm going to tell you what a standard deviation is, and I'm going to tell you who Haldane was. Haldane was the son of the Lord Admiral of the British Navy, who commanded the British Navy in World War I. And he was a brilliant polymath. He was fluent in Greek and Latin, as well as mathematics and biology. And he did foundational work in biochemistry and on the origin of life, as well as in population genetics. For many years, he was professor at University College London. He was a communist and a socialist and a social reformer who had a romance with the Soviet Union and then became bitterly disillusioned when he discovered what had gone on in the gulags in the 1950s. When he got intestinal cancer, he retired from his position in London, and he took a job in India, and he taught a whole generation of population geneticists in India before he died in 1962. A very interesting guy. And actually, there is a lot about the social impact of science that you can learn from reading about J.B.S. Haldane. The biography is just called J.B.S. Okay. This is a standard deviation. It is an empirical observation supported by an elementary theorem of mathematical statistics called the central limit theorem, that most population distributions look like a bell-shaped curve. It's called the normal distribution. It was formalized by Gauss. Sometimes it's called a Gaussian distribution. And the shape of the curve and its spread are basically measured by the standard deviation. So the mean value is at the center here, and the distribution is theoretically symmetrical. In practice, it's quasi-symmetrical. And the degree of spread is measured by the standard deviation units. Okay? So within 1 standard deviation, you will find on each side 34.1, or with both 68.2% of all of the individuals observed in the population. So 1 Haldane basically would take a population that, say, had a mean value, suppose it was for body size, maybe a body size of 10 grams, and if it had a standard deviation of 2 grams, and it was evolving at a rate of 1 Haldane, it would move that mean from here to here, 1 standard deviation unit up. And the population mean in the next generation, instead of being 10 grams, would be 12 grams. So that's the meaning of the Haldane.